Hi, so in this section we're going to be talking about using and applying concealer. Really for me, as a practicing makeup artist, concealer is one of the most important parts of my makeup kit, and I can really make a difference using concealer as well. But you need to use the right concealer and you need to apply it the right way as well. I'm going to be showing you today Eye Conceal. And Eye Conceal is a twist pen concealer, so at the top is a brush and at the bottom you can twist the button again to load and prime the brush with concealer, and which means that you can go straight onto the face with the brush. You can be very precise with your application. Eye Conceal is a light reflective concealer, so it's going to bounce light away from the skin, which is a much better way to conceal blemishes than covering them up or camouflaging them with a thick cream. The other benefit of Eye Conceal is it's a very moist concealer, and we created it that way for a couple of reasons. One, because if you're applying concealer underneath the eyes, around the eye area can be a little bit dry, and also I find that sometimes blemishes can be a bit dry and flaky as well. So by being sort of quite moist, it's a little bit of a sort of nourishing treatment for the area too. It has some cooling agents in it, so it feels very cool and refreshing when it goes on, so that's going to help take down puffiness around the eyes. So I'm going to start with the eyes here on Rachel. What I'm going to do, and I've already applied a little bit of foundation, so Rachel, if you look straight up for me, I'm going to apply just sort of in a small V shape just underneath here. And the interesting thing, I think, is instead of rubbing the concealer, which is what I see a lot of women do, it works much better if you just pat. And the reason for that is what you do is you lift the moisture out of the product, but you sort of leave the pigment where it is. So you're not shifting the concealer around in any way, you're just leaving the concealer on the skin and lifting the moisture out of it. That way I find it blends really nicely and really evenly underneath the eye. So I think you can see now really quickly what a difference that's made just to one eye. I'm going to show you again on the other side. So really what I'm going to do is just create a twist here to get a little bit more product out. Just create a little bit of a V underneath the eye here, and then what I'm going to do is just with my ring finger just pat that away, almost pat it so that it dries. Now your concealer really does need to be a little bit lighter than your foundation, because if you think about it, what you're doing is you're concealing areas that are a little bit darker than your natural skin tone. And you can see that just by patting that away, that really blends away nicely. Another great tip is the corners of the eye here tend to be a little bit darker because the skin can become discoloured from the saline in your tears, or the salt water in your tears. So it's a great tip to apply a little bit of concealer to the corner of the eye there, which really gives just an instant lift to the eye. I always apply a little bit of concealer over the eyes, so if you can just close for me, Rachel. I always apply just a tiny bit of concealer to the eyes. This acts as a really good base for your eyeshadow colour, but also what it does is it just takes any pink or blueness out of the skin over the tops of the eyes, which is going to brighten your eyes up. And sometimes you might find some mornings just a little bit of concealer over your eyes instead of some eyeshadow is a really good way to just make your eyes look bright and alert. So finally, when it just comes to applying concealer to blemishes, just open for me. When it comes to applying concealer to blemishes, really the key here is less is more. You need to consider that when you look in the mirror, you notice your blemishes more than anybody else does. So what you don't want to do is apply a lot of makeup in a certain area, because that's just going to draw attention to that area. So we're not trying to camouflage. What we're doing is just taking the attention down a little bit. So just by using the brush and just batting the concealer back a little bit with my finger, what I can do is just strategically apply a little bit of concealer over the face, just in a few areas, just to take the attention down, just off any blemishes at all. I always apply concealer after foundation. If you apply concealer before your foundation, it will start to shift around while you're applying your foundation. But you may find that some days you get up, you don't want to wear foundation, just a little bit of concealer, then a little bit of powder over the top for just a very simple fresh skin look. So that's Eye Conceal, which is using a brush with a twist bottom and just applying and patting onto the face. Thanks very much.